In the autumn of 1944, the city of Metz, France, was a graveyard for American marksmen. The 5th Infantry Division was hemorrhaging its best snipers. The count was grim. 23 specialists, men trained to be invisible predators, were now casualties. They were being systematically eliminated. The German advantage was a lethal tactic known as the double position. A German sniper would fire from one location, then immediately relocate 30 to 50 yards away. By the time an American sniper team could pinpoint the sound of the first shot, the German was already settled in his second nest, aiming, ready to fire again. For Private First Class Michael Donovan, this wasn't a tactical report, it was a recurring nightmare. He had watched this tactic consume 2 partners. On October 18th, Corporal James Bradley, a farm kid from Nebraska, was scanning a factory. A single 7.92mm Mauser round struck him from 400 yards away. He died instantly. Donovan never saw the enemy muzzle flash. Just days later, on October 29th, Private First Class Robert Chen, a man with sharp eyes from San Francisco, took a round to the chest. He suffocated on his own blood for 40 agonizing minutes while medics fought to save him. The shot came from 350 yards. Donovan was alone, and he knew he was marked for death. The flaw wasn't the men or their rifles. The M1903 Springfield was a precise weapon. The flaw was the physics of their optics. The 8-power scope gave them incredible reach, but it narrowed their world to a tiny 8-degree cone. It was like hunting a lion while peering through a drinking straw. You could see what was in front, but you were blind to everything else. The Germans weren't attacking from the front. They were flanking, striking from angles the Americans were not, and could not, be watching. After Chen's death, Donovan spent 3 nights staring into the dark, consumed by one question: how do you see the man you aren't looking at? The answer wasn't in a training manual. It was in his shaving kit, a simple government-issue 4x6-inch mirror. On the night of November 2nd, in the shell of a bombed-out hotel, Donovan committed a serious military offense. He performed an unauthorized modification on his precision-calibrated rifle. He knew the risk: a court-martial, dishonorable discharge. But the faces of Bradley and Chen were clearer than any regulation. Using salvaged electrical tape and wire cutters, his hands shaking, he affixed the small mirror to the left side of his scope tube, angling it at roughly 45 degrees. It took him 40 minutes in the cold dark. When he finished, he shouldered the rifle. While his eye was pressed to the scope, looking forward, his peripheral vision could now catch the reflection. He could see his own flank. He could see behind him. At 6:47 in the morning on November 3rd, Donovan and his new partner, Private Sam Martinez, were set up in a destroyed bakery. The fog lifted, revealing the German-held factory 400 yards distant. Donovan began his scan. He found a target, a German sniper settling into a 3rd-floor window 410 yards out. He calculated the shot. His finger tightened on the trigger. But then, a flicker of light in his peripheral vision. In the mirror. He didn't turn. He didn't even flinch. The reflection showed a window in a building behind them. A rifle barrel. A German sniper, aiming directly at Donovan's position. It was the exact trap that had killed Bradley and Chen. "German sniper," Donovan whispered. "Building behind us, 3rd floor." Martinez, just 19 years old, slowly moved his rifle. "I see him," Martinez whispered back. "On my count," Donovan said, his eyes still locked on the factory target. 3, 2, 1. 2 rifles cracked the morning air almost as one. Donovan's target in the factory fell backward. Martinez's shot punched through the window behind them, and the flanking sniper slumped forward. It took 5 seconds. That day, Donovan's team eliminated 6 German snipers. 3 of those kills came after the mirror revealed a flanking enemy. The tide had turned. Word spread. Sergeant Frank Wilson, who had lost 2 partners, demanded the modification. By November 8th, 9 rifles had the Donovan mirror. The kill ratio for the battalion inverted. Where they had lost 2 men for every German killed, they were now killing 4 Germans for every American lost. On November 10th, Captain Robert Hayes, the platoon commander, discovered the unauthorized equipment. He stared at the crude, taped-on mirror. Martinez explained what it was. Hayes, a career army man, understood the breach of regulations. He also understood survival. He gave Donovan an order. By tomorrow morning, I want every sniper rifle in this battalion to have one. German intelligence was baffled. Their snipers were suddenly losing. They tried long-range shots and multi-team attacks. But the American pairs, now possessing 360-degree awareness, were unbeatable. In January of 1945, an official evaluation team from Aberdeen Proving Ground arrived. They studied the field expedient mirror, declared it a brilliant innovation, and submitted a report to standardize its design. Their report, however, credited Army evaluators with the discovery. Donovan's name was erased by bureaucracy. Captain Hayes fought to correct the record, but the paperwork was lost. Donovan himself didn't care. He hadn't done it for credit. When the war ended on May 8, 1945, Donovan had 47 confirmed kills. The mirror had personally saved his life on at least 6 separate occasions. He went home to Pennsylvania and worked in a factory for 35 years, never speaking of what he'd done. The innovation was forgotten. It wasn't until 1987 that a historian, digging through old maintenance logs, found a reference to Donovan. He tracked down Martinez, who told him the entire story. The historian calculated that the simple shaving mirror had likely saved the lives of between 40 and 60 American snipers. When Michael Donovan passed away on June 7, 2001, at the age of 79, 4 elderly men his family had never met attended the funeral. They were snipers from Metz. They had come to pay respects to the man who, by breaking the rules, had allowed them to grow old. Today, at the Infantry Museum at Fort Benning, an M1903 Springfield is on display. It has a small 4x6-inch mirror taped to its scope. The placard calls it a field modification. Donovan's name is nowhere to be found. This is the reality of battlefield innovation. It doesn't come from committees. It comes from desperate, brilliant soldiers like Michael Donovan. If you believe his story deserves to be told, help us by liking this video. That click tells the platform that this history matters. Subscribe to join a community dedicated to remembering the heroes who were overlooked. These stories are fragile, and they are preserved only by the people who share them. We want to know what you think. Leave a comment below. Your engagement is not just a comment, it's an act of remembrance. Thank you for listening, and thank you for ensuring that Michael Donovan is not forgotten.